Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. You are in the APNIC Global report session. My name is Melody, and I will be the moderator for this session. Now, you may be wondering what is the Global report session. Essentially, this is a space where we gather our ISTAR organizations, internet organizations, to come and share what are their key priorities or recent activities to share with APNIC's technical community. So without further ado, allow me to invite up Sally Wentworth, who is the President and CEO of the ISOC Foundation and ISOC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today. Again, I'm Sally Wentworth. I'm the President and CEO of the Internet Society and the Internet Society Foundation. And it's a pleasure to present some of our priorities for 2026 and as part of our overall 2030 strategy. If we can get our slides up. Oh, do I do this? Okay. Aha, there we go. Okay. So some of you may know we at the Internet Society have been working under a 5-year strategy. It's what we call Strategy 2030. And one of the things that it enables us to do is to provide some consistency and predictability across Internet Society's programming over a longer term period. So for us, we have certain key priorities in our strategic plan. The first, we have a focus on connectivity. One of our strategic goals is that people everywhere have access to an internet that is reliable, resilient, and affordable. And second, that people everywhere have an internet experience that's safe, secure, and protects them online. All of our programming across the Internet Society and the Internet Society Foundation is in support of those two strategic goals. Just to back up a little bit and say that the Asia-Pacific region is incredibly important to us. There's a lot of Internet Society activity here. We have 9 chapters, over 40,000 individual members, and a wide range of organization members in this region who are supporting and helping us implement our priorities in the Asia-Pacific region. And of course, the region itself is such a driver of innovation and growth in the internet space that it's important for everything that we do. And that's why we're here today. So talking about our 5-year strategy, we have formulated our programs in support of those two strategic goals. And what we want to do is speak to you, or what I'd like to do is speak to you a little bit about how we turn that vision into reality. We are looking to build an internet that is accessible, reliable, affordable, trustworthy, safe, and governed by the multi-stakeholder model. That is what the Internet Society is focused on. We have made progress as an internet technical community in support of those objectives, but we know that the internet itself is under enormous pressure around the globe. And so the work that we do at the Internet Society in these 4 pillars that you see here of access, safety, trust, and governance is intended to do our part to make a difference at what's at stake for the internet of our future. I will go to the next slide. So these are our 2026 action plan priorities. We have our action plan. It's in circulation here, and you can find it online. But we've organized our work essentially around these 4 pillars. The first is community-centered connectivity, ensuring that we take the internet out to the hardest to reach communities. That's always been a central part of the Internet Society's work and a core part of who we are. In order to do that, we first have to have affordable and reliable access in the countries that we're working in. And again, that has been an essential part of the Internet Society's work for decades. A newer area that I'll speak about is online trust and safety. The Internet Society has long been active in infrastructure security. We're extending that work out as a result of community feedback to support more end-user safety and security in their online experience. And then finally, a program that we have around open and trustworthy internet, which really embodies much of our advocacy work across the globe. We know that there are 2.2 billion people still not connected to the internet. We heard this morning a whole presentation about the future of AI, but as we all speak about the future of AI, we can't have that conversation effectively if we're leaving a large portion of our population behind. So for the Internet Society, this need to connect the remaining 2.2 billion people is still incredibly important to who we are and what we do in the society. So through our work, including grant giving, philanthropy, our training and empowerment programs, our program staff and expertise, our community building, is all of that is centered around ensuring that these hard-to-reach communities are empowered to connect themselves to the internet where existing frameworks and models don't reach to them. So for this program in 2025, we intend to fund at least 25 community networks, and that includes everything from the training, capacity building, the community building, the infrastructure deployments, the funding, and then the sustainability models that come from that. Here you'll see one of our good friends who I think all of you know very well. This is Naveed here and Awal as they were deploying the Maldives IX in 2022. The Internet Society has long been committed to ensuring that infrastructure in country is both affordable and reliable. This embodies the work that we do to support, fund, and develop internet exchange points around the world, and ensuring that local content remains local and that the infrastructure that people depend upon is available and resilient for their use. We have a special focus over the coming years on deploying this model in least developed countries and small island developing states. And that's one of the reasons that we're so active in this community, is building the partnerships that are needed to support that work. Next is the online trust and safety work. Again, the Internet Society has had a long focus on things like routing security, supporting end-to-end encryption, a lot of the fundamental infrastructure that supports security, and we remain committed to those goals. But what we've also heard from our community is an increasing demand for resources to support online safety, tools, training, capacity building for communities as they come online. This is a particular demand signal that we're hearing from our chapter community, but it's not limited to that community. And of course, as we're deploying internet connectivity into the hardest to reach communities, those tend to be some of the more vulnerable communities as well. And so marrying up online safety resources alongside our connectivity work, we think is really important and useful to do. And we are building that with our community. Our intention in 2026 is to deploy an online safety hub where we curate resources that have already been developed around the world and make those available in multiple languages, trying to meet the needs of communities across the world. And finally, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody that this idea of an open, secure, global internet is under increasing pressure and threat from governments, from emerging business models, from changes in the geopolitical environment that we're all living through. The Internet Society has a long commitment to advocating for a global open internet at the international level, whether that's in the United Nations, in regional organizations, and all the way into member states. We do this with our community and with our partners, many of whom are sitting on stage here with me today. So that is work that's important to us, that we will continue to strengthen this advocacy function and being able to articulate what's at stake if we don't make the right decisions to support the growth of the internet worldwide. Important to me as the CEO of the Internet Society is, as we do this work, whether it's connectivity, whether it's security, whether it's advocacy, the Internet Society is a society. We only exist because of the community that supports us. everything we do must be done with the community, with our partners, alongside our colleagues in the internet technical community. That is important to me in my leadership role. It's important to our staff. And hopefully you see that in the work that we're doing. So everything we do, and we have a whole series of programming around ensuring that we are good partners, that we support our community of chapters and org members and our colleagues across the internet technical community in order to achieve our mission, which is that the internet is for everyone. So thank you for your attention, and happy to take questions later on. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. It's great to hear the priorities and themes that ISOC is focusing on this year. Next, I would like to invite Athena Fu, who is ICANN Stakeholder Engagement Manager, for the next presentation. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Athena. I'm from ICANN. Specifically, I'm from the APAC office under the Stakeholder Engagement team. So for ICANN's report today, it's pretty much 3 parts. So what we've been doing since APNIC 60, what we're going to do after APNIC 61, and some of the things that you can do with us in between. So we've had a very busy couple of months since APNIC 60. We had our ICANN meeting in Dublin, at which we usually hold our APEC space as well. So for those of you who were able to join us there in person or online, thank you for your support. There will be another APEC space coming up in the next ICANN meeting in Mumbai. We've also had a couple of local APIGAs, our Asia Pacific Internet Governance Academy, that is our flagship youth program. At the local level, we have 5 iterations of that, of which 3 were in their second running. And we'd like to thank these communities for their strong support in helping us run the local PIGAs, of which one of them is Indonesia, our local host for this meeting. Last month, our ICANN board members also held their board workshop in Singapore, and along at the sidelines of their board workshop, they also had an ICANN board APAC community dialogue on 23rd Jan. It was a virtual session, and we saw a very strong turnout of more than 90 APAC community members dialing in and asking very good questions and engaging with our board members. And then again, thank you for your support. And most recently, 3 of our ICANN staff participated in the APTLD 89 meeting in Jordan from 2nd to 5th Feb, and we also conducted a technical training from Champika. Some of our upcoming engagements, we're also having some local APIGAs in the region, in Hong Kong, India, Philippines, and Malaysia. I would encourage any of you in these economies, if you would like to partner with them or join us and contribute, to reach out to any one of us in these economies. And I'm sure many of you know the next ICANN meeting, ICANN 85, we're in Mumbai, and we hope to be able to see many of you there. We look forward to welcoming you. And part of our ICANN meetings is also the APAC space, more details to come. We will also be having our Global Universal Acceptance Day between 25th March and 30th May of this year across several of our APAC communities. I believe the dates and the events have already been announced on our website, so do join us, and if you're interested to contribute, do let us know as well. In May, we are going to have our ICANN APAC TWNIC Engagement Forum in Taipei. And in July, we will have our regional APIGA program in South Korea. Applications for a regional APIGA should be announced pretty soon. So if you know of any good candidates or people who are interested, please do spread the word and let us know. Some of our recent initiatives at the APAC level. So in December, we published our APAC regional plan for FY 2026 to 2030 after a round of community input. So I've extracted the parts that are more relevant to the technical community here. So in our APAC regional plan, that would include finding and integrating participation from newer stakeholders from the technical community. And what do we mean? And by that, we mean specifically stakeholders from the Internet Exchange Points, IXPs, or cloud service providers. We also will continue our collaboration with technical community entities such as APNIC and the other ISTAR organizations to try and better understand the impact of new technologies. And of course, other technical collaborations are also welcome. At the global level, we have had published our final issue report on the policy development process on DNS abuse mitigation in December. There will likely be a new PDP process on this topic, and this would be the key focus and key highlight at the upcoming ICANN 85 meeting in Mumbai. In December, we also published the applicant guidebook, AGB. So for those who have been following the new GTLD program next round developments, this is an important milestone in that project, in that program. And yeah, it is slated to be launched in this April. And finally, we've published the DNS root server equivalent study last month. So this might be of interest for those of you who are interested to better understand what ICANN is doing with regards to name collision risks for new GTLDs being added in the upcoming round. I've included the links to all of this in the slides, which I believe are uploaded on the APNIC program website. And that's it for our updates. I also want to share that we do have a few of our ICANN staff besides myself here as well. So we have Kim Davies from IANA, we have Carlos and Ozan from the ASO policy team, Yen Chen and myself from the stakeholder engagement team is here, Champika from the technical engagement team is here. And we also have 3 ICANN board members, Sajid Rahman, Christian Kaufman, and Amitabh Singhal, and we'll be very happy to speak with you during the week. And yep, that's it for my presentation.
Thank you, Tina. We're very much excited that the ICANN meeting will be in our region coming up. So all the best to the Mumbai meeting next month. Next, I would like to invite Akinori Maimura, who will provide the ASO AC update. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akinori Maemura, one of the NRONC members who are appointed from the Asia-Pacific region. I'll give you the update about the ASOAC, particularly for the biggest project of the RIR governance document update. About the, before beginning, I have the very big challenge for this presentation. I have only the 8 minutes, but I have the 26 pages of the presentation. It is really hard for me to do that, so I will do the really, really big skipping for here. ASOAC, what is ASOAC? Skip it. And then 2026 AC members, it is a little bit important. We have the new member for the SOAC from the Asia-Pacific region, Mr. Devesh Tyagi. He's here. He's a great addition for us. Thank you very much for joining. And thank you very much. We have the 2 other new members in Erin region. We have the Alissa Quinn added to the SOAC. And then another great news was the one addition from the APNIC region, whose name is Sol Stein. Actually, we had no SOAC members from the APNIC region. But finally, the APNIC Board of Directors, which has recently populated by the election, almost immediately appointed the Sol for the ASOAC. So they're really happy, and he's already started the contribution to the ASOAC. Key activity, ISP2 review process, of course. Then why we revisit ICP2? Because it is 25 years old, and then the current ICP2 only stipulate about recognition criteria. And then there is no stipulation of the operational criteria. That is the biggest reason why we need to do the revision of the ICP2. We are now working on the RIR's ongoing responsibilities, and we actually have the new provision for the potential derecognition. By the definition, defining the derecognition, we will be able to addressing the situation of the such a going to the recognition by the rehabilitation or some addressing the problem. So that is the reason why we are doing the revisiting ICP2. Then we started this ICP2 review project in October 2023 by the request from the NROEC. We are working on that for more than 2 years right now. This is a review timeline. For this page, I'd like to emphasize the 2 things, which is the recent development. It is almost in this month, in February, we have released the 2 documents. One is the ASOAC, RIR governance document, second consultation summary report, which is basically what we heard from the consultation of the second consultation. That's number 1. The number 2 is the Q1 2026 Q1 status report of issues in progress and in drafting. It is based upon the consultation input from the community. This document is the clarifying what we are now doing. So this is the review timeline. We had the 3 consultations until now. One is the principle, draft core principles. The other 2 are the draft version 1 and the version 2. And now we are now considering the feedback from the second public comment, and then bringing it near to the final version. So today, I am presenting about what we are doing right now, instead of what kind of shape the next draft version looks like. So it is merely the status update for you, and then if you want to have it very clearly, please visit the SOAC and the NLO webpage for this draft. And then this year, 2026, we'd like to have it concluded by the approval by the NLO Executive Council and the ICANN board. But it is quite up to our progress of the drafting process. So that's still to be determined. Status report Q1 has a lot of things, but I've already consumed the 6 minutes, so it is really a shortage of the time. We have some categorization of this status report. It is in progress and the drafting. In progress is in progress means that we are still discussing and considering about how we can revise the document into the finalization, and that's in progress. And then the drafting is already, we are working on the text for the finalization. It is really, not really the constellation of the contents, but the cosmetic and then the finalization of the text. So the RIR governance document version 2 status report Q1 2026 is available from QR code, and you can easily find it in the NLO.net website. Issues in progress, I have less than 1 minute, so please consult the situation like this. We have a lot of, several points of in progress. Recognition review, including the independent third party. Recognition by the unanimity -1, which is quite, we had a variety of the input from the community. The recognition and ad hoc audit thresholds. So ad hoc audit is by the audit by the request from the community, and the recognition the current draft has the same threshold to start this kind of process, but it is still needed for the clarifying or differentiating the threshold. Emergency continuity initiation and the renewal procedures. All right, so that's, I've already consumed all the time. So please do visit the nro.net website and then have the document. And we are so happy to have your input in our mailing list, ICP2-2 review at apnic.net, and we are really happy to answer to your concern and question on the mailing list. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Akinori-san, for that Spitfire presentation. I know it was really difficult. I do like to remind everyone that the presentations are available on the APRICOT program website, so you can peruse Akinori's presentation at your own time as well. And feel free to speak to Akinori, Nicole, and Devesh on anything about the ARA governance document too. So we come to the section where we will invite our IRAs around the world to give an update. So firstly, we have ARIN update, and this will be given by John Sweeting, who is the Chief Experience Officer.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. As Melody said, I'm John Sweeting, Chief Experience Officer with ARIN, and I'm going to give you about 8 minutes of updates on ARIN. So to start off with, our Board of Trustees met a few weeks ago for the start of the year to set the 2026 strategic priorities for ARIN. And these are the 4 main priorities that ARIN will be working on this year. Global leadership, safeguarding, of course, the RIR stability, and also the adoption of key internet technologies such as RPKI and IPv6. Governance and organizational resilience, strengthening the governance framework, leadership pipeline, and the board performance. Member experience and advocacy. Of course, we work very hard to ensure that our members have an awesome experience whenever they reach out for whatever needs to discuss deploying RPKI, getting resources, how to get started, whatever. And then our operational and technical excellence on making sure our services are secure, modern, and future-proof, future-ready. Can't really future-proof them. Make sure they're ready for the future. So that's what we're focusing on heading into 2026. Also at that meeting in Miami, the board elected a new chair, Nancy Carter, who's sitting right up front here, supporting me as usual. So that was a very good thing that happened out of that meeting. So now I'll get into our 2025 organizational updates, membership, resources, and routing security policy updates and programs. So the ARIN membership, we're sitting at 26,542 ARIN service members, of which 1,477 are general members. General members are service members that say, hey, we want to participate in the governance of ARIN. We want to participate in the elections. They say they want to do that. We put them into a general membership status, and they stay there for as long as they continue to participate. We also have about 14,000 customers that are not under agreement, so they're not a member. They're the legacy holders. So our customer count by resource type You can see we have, it's pretty well spread out with IPv6 only is 4%, but not a lot of people have IPv6 only, especially in Aaron, because if they have IPv6, they can get a special reserve pool of a /24 of IPv4 to help them transition to IPv6. So most organizations, if they have IPv6, they have at least one /24. So that's why that's a very small percentage there. And as you can see, our legacy as a whole, altogether, they have all IPv4, IPv6, and everything, but it's all legacy, and that's a big part of the Aaron community. It's not moving. Oh, there we go. It'll probably do 15 moves, right? Did it go more than one? I didn't see. Okay. All right. So, of course, one of the big strategic things for 2026 is our PKI, looking for global deployment, helping with the global deployment. So some of the services we completed in 2025 was the IRR RPK integration and a sync up tool. Sync up tool is just anybody that had created ROAs and wanted to create a corresponding route object in the IRR, you could push a button and do that. We also gave them access to their ROA history so they could see a year worth of data, who did it, who deleted it, who created it, who modified it, and also an updated API that basically it was to give the features that are, if you use Aaron Online, then the API now is up to date with that. Development pipeline for 2026 on RPKI is ASPA. ASPA went live on 20 January. RPKI routing intelligence is basically where you can see what your routes you're announcing at that time in the global routing table, so you can make sure your rows match up. And then there's a few other advanced features to Aaron Online that have been requested and we're working on. Policy activity during 2025, we had 10 proposals submitted, 2 rejected due to scope, 1 adopted by the board to be implemented by March 15, 2026. We have 7 proposals that were advanced to draft policy and 1 draft policy from 2024 that's still under discussion. Current draft policies, you can see them there. I'm not going to go through all of them. Mostly for V4, but a few V6 in there. The draft policy that did get adopted by the board for 2025 was a very simple one. It used to say in our policy for transfers that you had to be within the last 2 versions of the registration services agreement, which we've had a lot of changes over the last couple of years. So it really, our general counsel told us, that you really don't have to do that. They don't need to update the agreement. Any agreement they've signed keeps them, they have to adhere to that. So it gets to be a problem for a lot of companies when they have to run through the legal teams to get their RSAs signed, and they'd rather not do it every other year. Community programs. So our community programs, I thought I clicked too fast. So we have 4 that are very important that we focus on. Our qualified facilitator, where we vet and do background checks and a whole lot of other criteria for someone to be an Aaron qualified facilitator was something our community asked us for, and we did that. We also have a premier support plan. We call it like white glove. You get assigned a dedicated analyst and 24/7 phone number to call, and a few other things, and our fellowship program and our grant committee. We do give grants every year. So Aaron 57 is going to be in the Bluegrass State, Louisville, Kentucky. It's the home of bourbon, good bourbon. But we're not going to a bourbon factory or anything. We're going to the Louisville Slugger baseball manufacturer there, which they have a lot. They have batting cages, a whole bunch of stuff. So it would be fun for anybody that really likes baseball, like me. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Next up, we have LACNIC. So Carlos, who is our LACNIC's Chief Technology Strategist, will be giving the LACNIC update.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here. I flew 36 hours to be here, so my apologies if I say nonsense, right? Thank you. So, LACNIC has a very similar structure to APNIC. I don't know if you know that we have something in common with APNIC, that we are the only two RIRs who have national internet registries. So this membership count that I'm showing here also includes members from Brazil and Mexico, which are the two NIRs we have within our region. You'll notice, of course, the funny shape of the growth of the bars, which kind of suddenly stopped around 2021, which of course when IPv4 ran out. And you notice the small growth of this IPv6 only membership category, which as Shosun was mentioning, of course they have some IPv4, they got through some other means. But in any case, it's interesting to see how this membership category is growing. If you are curious about it, about half of our membership is within Brazil. Half of this bar is in Brazil. So we've been trying to, I really don't like the term digital transformation, but we are implementing something along the lines of digital transformation, trying to get rid of all the workflows based on email and papers. We've been trying to improve customer experience. We adopted a CRM platform called Soho. And we've been slowly reducing response times. We've been striving to have customers be able to self-serve anything they need. We are not quite there, but we are hoping that eventually in a couple of years, most of the membership processes will be completely self-service, right? We've been pushing hard for members to adopt two-factor authentication because we've had some, well, the members had some, I would say, unsavory experiences with credentials being stolen, and in some cases, some damage was done to their accounts. Most of these things we are doing to the process have been reflecting in the member feedback we get. The last feedback poll we ran, we got 100% top boxes, which is, I don't think we ever got that before, which is, we were very happy about that. So we also completed our strategic review for, we run 4-year periods, and we have now 3 focus areas, which are registry accuracy and integrity, community development, and sustainable internet, open standards and open governance. This is like a continuation of what we had before. There are some different things we want to do, but we keep the focus on promoting an open internet and promoting participation from the community. If you like to know more about our new strategic plan, you can scan the QR code, and there's a nice blog post our communications people wrote summarizing our new plan. Campus LACNIC. Campus LACNIC is an e-learning platform we've been running for a number of years now. We've trained almost 8,000 students so far, and we've completed the first cycle of what we call specializations, which are these small programs that you can build using different courses and become, for example, certified in data centers or ISPs or campus networks. We had our first class graduating last year with who I don't remember the number exactly, but we had some people who completed all the requirements for these tracks. An example of a community program that I'm very enthusiastic about is what we call the R&D Ambassadors Program. And we try to promote technical leaders within their respective communities. We run this open process where we select people from different countries and we support them with some logistics if they need to organize meetings, a small grant of money if they need to hire a server, organize an event. And this program has been very successful. We've reached communities we have not reached before, for example, financial communities within some countries. And this is our second class of ambassadors. And the final things they do, they go to a LACNIC event and present their work. And this has been very successful, and I'm very happy about this, actually. So next LACNIC will be LACNIC 45 in Guadalajara, Mexico, from May 11 to May 14th. You are, of course, all welcome to join. I know it's far away from here, but hopefully some of you can join us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlos. Once again, I'd just like to remind everyone that all the slides are available on the APRICOT program for those who would like to refer back to what the presenters have shared. Next up, I would like to invite Alistair Strachan, who is RIPE's Community Development Officer, to give the RIPE update. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. Nice to see you all. Come on, a bit more energy. Hi, everyone. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. My name's Alistair Strachan. I'm here to give just an update from the RIPE NCC. If I can get my laptop to stay in place, jackpot. I'm going to give a quick update on what we're working on, some of our strategic direction, some concrete activities, and how this connects with the wider operator community, including here in the APNIC region. So first off, I'll just do a high-level overview of our strategy. This is important because a lot of our operational work, help if I hit the button. There you go. A lot of our operational work, registry services, measurements, training, internet governance, all flows directly from these strategic priorities. So 2026, we're focused on a few core items. First is improving registry data accuracy and compliance, especially by expanding automation to handle increased workload and also increased complexity. We cover a whole host of different countries and regions, which brings its own challenges when it comes to transfer agreements and things along those lines. We're also actively reducing our technical debt. This is more about resilience and being prepared for any recovery scenarios. Outreach remains a key pillar for us. We have recently refreshed our fellowship scheme. We have new courses from our L&D and also new exams that we're launching all the time. So there's a lot happening with that. At the same time, as you probably know, the EU does love some legislation. So we're closely monitoring that, particularly the EU, but also things like ICP2. And also we've recently launched our Trust Portal, which is really a work towards being more transparent about things. Operating a resilient and defensible security architecture is always important. This is going to help us reduce the risk of any cybercrime and other threats. And a big chunk of what we're working on at the minute, like some of the others have mentioned, is our next 5-year strategy. So the 27 to 31 strategy and also our charging scheme vote, which is due this year. So our draft strategy is really built around 4 anchors. First, guaranteeing uniqueness and building trust. This is our core responsibility as a registry. We also have, secondly, responsible stewardship, so supporting internet security and resilience through best practices and capacity building. The third is being a source of authoritative data. We want to provide the highest quality neutral data that the community can rely on. And finally, engaging members and renewing our community. Inclusiveness, openness are all words that everyone hears, but it is incredibly important and it's something that really matters to us as the registry. and more. So these anchors that I mentioned really translate into practical focus areas. And there's 6 of them listed here. So registry accuracy. I don't know whether I'll read through everything because I have this flashing clock that's staring at me. But registry accuracy, automating processes, modernizing technology, things along those lines, whilst always ensuring compliance with global standards and best practice. Resilience, internet resilience, the scalability and the routing security. Things like K-route, things like obviously the internet number resource distribution, routing security, RPKI, all of these things that ensure the internet remains stable, resilient, and scalable. Data and insight, again, a big thing is we have a huge, vast amount of data, and we want to use this responsibly, improve efficiency, support members while keeping this data high quality and also, most importantly, neutral. Community partnership and trust. We're renewing and we're trying to renew and diversify our participation while upholding these key important things of openness and inclusivity and trust. We're doing this through responsible action. We're doing it through training courses and knowledge sharing. We have obviously good governance. This is being able to demonstrate transparent, neutral, resilient governance, maintain fit for purpose for our membership model, for our community. And finally, agility and execution culture. We want to foster a culture of delivery and accountability with strong follow-through, being adaptive and goal-oriented. Now, a big part of what we do day to day is providing tools and data for the community. These platforms support operators, researchers, policymakers, really anyone who wants reliable insight into how the internet is working. So, alongside raw data, we also publish a whole host of different reports, normally on key operational or technical topics. They're designed to be practical and accessible. We really want the community to understand trends and understand what's happening across the internet ecosystem. These are 2. We did one on the ever-evolving V4 transfer landscape, and also a really interesting one of the roles in IXPs in South. There it is. Sorry, my colleague was just like, slides. We did also one on the role of IXPs in Southeast Europe. In regards to this data and measurements, there is a new traceroute visualization in RIPE Atlas. We have a major transformation of DNS-MON. There's also a refresh RIPE Stat UI. And again, the goal of this is all about usability. It's all about making this complex data that we have a lot more easy to explore and act upon. RIPE Labs. I don't know if everyone here knows RIPE Labs, but RIPE Labs is our space for analysis and experimentation. It's where we share a lot of articles and insights, both from the RIPE NCC and also from people from the community. There's a whole host of different cool articles and things like that you can find on labs.ripe.net. RIPE Atlas, this continues to grow as a really important global measurement platform. One of my first jobs at the NCC was actually shipping the V1 probes. And I remember we used to have cake for every 1,000 probes that went online. Thankfully, we stopped that, otherwise I would be about the size of this stage. But we have over 13,000 probes online. We've got 800 anchors. We have over 35,000 measurements being run every day. And it's a powerful example of community-powered infrastructure, measuring the internet in real time at the edges. Capacity building, another major pillar. We offer a whole host of different webinars. We have the RIPE NCC Academy, in-person training courses. We've got professional certification, like with the certified professionals. And we've just launched a new advanced IPv6 e-learning course, which is very timely given the development challenges that we're still facing. Events. Obviously, events remain key way for us to engage with the community. They're not just about policy, they're really about operational experience, building trust, connecting the community and bringing them together. So we have 5 main events. We have the C meeting, so Southeast Europe, that's in Sofia, Bulgaria. We've got RIPE 92 in Edinburgh, the NCC Days in Latvia, the CAPIF in Dushanbe, and the RIPE 93 in Sofia. So if you can, come to all of them. Ripe Labs podcast. This is another cool thing we have. Oh, I've run out of time. If you like podcasts, listen to cool stuff here. Ripe 92 is happening in Edinburgh. Come. Questions and comments. There isn't any time, so goodbye. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Alistair. And I would like you to encourage everyone to ask your questions to the speakers after the session too. They will be available. Next up, I would like to invite Mukom Tamon, who has come from a very far away location because it is very good that we have an in-person APNIC update. Mukom is the head of capacity building for APNIC.
I was going to use the excuse of coming a long way for if I say something silly, but then Carlos beat me to it. And I thought we were friends. All right. Right. 20 years ago, if you were in Africa and you needed IPv6 addresses, okay, you didn't need IPv6 addresses, but if you needed addresses, you had to deal with the Americans or the Europeans. APNIC solved that, and it went perfectly up until around 3 years ago. And I was going to start this presentation by asking, you are probably wondering, what curveball is APNIC going to throw us this year? Hopefully none. The good news, and this is the best news that I have to share, is that we now have a board as of September last year. And this board is elected. It was elected in the election that had the highest turnout in APNIC's history. And I know when these elections came out, there were suggestions that we should hire maybe consultants to design an election for us. And we thought, what? So I'm extremely proud to say that this election was designed by staff and run by staff. And trust me, it is the most auditable election you will find in this community for a long time. Because for 3 years, we've seen things not go well. We've seen different attempts and staff just were powerless. So when we had the opportunity to run the election, we did everything that we could do because we were extremely concerned that if we do not have some good news out of 2025, 2026 would be the year when our death just continues in a very silent way. So these people you have here, they have experience. Professor Adodikun has been on the board before. He runs the department at a large university. Professor Abdulaziz has also been in the community, and ICANN, he also is in academia. Dr. Kalim Osmani works in the government, and he's a practitioner in cybersecurity. Mr. Tumba runs one of the largest network operators in the DRC. Carla runs marketing for the largest data center operator in Africa. Dr. Fiona runs one of the most vibrant internet exchange points on the continent. And Ben helped lead one of the largest terrestrial networks on the continent. And Deole also runs network acquisitions for Google. So if you want people that have skin in the game, you've got them. If you want people who understand the context through which APNIC must go through, you've got them. And so the other thing they've done is, for the last 3 or 4 years, APNIC has not been able to be present at events like this and really run an activity program because we would not have a budget. So the very first thing that the board did was to appoint an interim management. That is Arthur Karindal, who leads stakeholder engagement and communications. You have Nirmal Manik, who leads finance and administration, and yours truly, who leads technology, infrastructure, and strategy. So together, the very first thing we've tried to do is to make sure that within the next 2 weeks, we'll have a budget and activity plan, something we've not had in the last 4 years. And that is a sign that, we are getting out of the quagmire. Of course, as difficult as things were, we were able to get 167 new members last year. Of course, the process being a bit different because it was not always completely up to the staff. At some point, we had to engage authorities that were put in place by the court system. So IPv6, we had about 138 prefixes in addition to the IPv4. But the biggest thing is that we have about 770 IPv4 addresses left in our free pool. And I, for one, can't wait